Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for looking at attic to basement estate cleanouts. I was having a problem with glare, so I've decided to change the direction I'm sitting in today. For the most part, these houses that I'm going to show you today didn't take very long, more than 2 or 3 days to complete. They had some interesting items, but not enough to go into detail. But there was a Porsche, a Chevy truck, a trailer and tires that went to auction, and a dirty mattress and worn tires that went to the dump from an Upper Marlboro home in Maryland. I think a lot of people that hang on to old mattresses don't have a car that's big enough to get it to the dump, or they don't know about the dump, or they don't want to pay any fees to get rid of it. In Montgomery County, residents were able to bring 4 tires to recycle to a trailer at the dump. This was a big help for me, as most houses had 2 extra tires, but the junk hauler could not dump them at the commercial portion of the dump. Here are the photos of the vehicles that went to auction. Photos of the furniture can be found at Facebook page 800 Houses, 800 Jobs. A house in Kensington, Maryland had pieces of model trains that went to a stepbrother. A lathe and lots of tools were shipped to a son in Virginia. Weschler's auction house sent a man down to pack them up and deliver the tools to the son and take the rest to auction. I always looked up the client's obituary after I got called about a new job, as it sometimes gave me clues as to what we would be finding in the house because of the work or hobbies that kept that person busy when they were alive. This man was very busy working and volunteering until he died at age 87. During his career, he served as a captain in the U.S. Air Force Medical Corps, authored books on medicine, and taught at various medical schools across the country. He took digital photos and made a virtual tour of a portion of NIH that was on the department website at the time of his death. The next house was in Derwood, Maryland, and my helper and I worked 6 hours the first day and took items to charity. The second day, a junk hauler came to take away trash, and I made a note to myself to bring rags the third and final day to dry out a chest freezer that was going to auction. The highlight was a signed Buckley Moss piece of art that pictured geese. The view from the backyard was gorgeous, and I took a photo of it while Associated Auctioneers was there for 5 hours packing their truck. Wasn't that a gorgeous view? Another house we worked in during 2010 was in Alexandria, Virginia, and it took 10 days because the woman was a hoarder. The house, along with the garage and shed, were very full. The first 2 days, I had 2 helpers with me for 5 hours, sorting through the living room, dining room, kitchen, master bedroom, linen closet, second bedroom, and den. The daughter lived nearby, and I believe the mother had been moved into a nursing home. After our first day of work, the daughter went through all the books and a collection of Sicilian plates, pulling out the ones that she wanted to keep. The daughters also wanted to look through the jewelry, and what the 2 sisters didn't want could go to auction. I was keeping a dining room set and a set of good china for the sister who lived on the West Coast. On the 5th day, we were asked that I send charitable items to a women's shelter or to a thrift store that helped out a women's shelter. The last few days I went by myself and only needed to work 2 to 3 hours a day. I did take clothing to Polly Sue's vintage shop in Tacoma Park, Maryland, and 3 months later I had to call the woman who hired me, as Polly Sue's said the check they had given me for the clothing they bought still had not been cashed. I had sent the check with my invoice to the daughter. For this job, I ordered a dumpster from Junk to the Dump. It was emptied 3 times over the course of the work. Most houses don't take this long. I only have two photos from this house. One is of a mess around a desk, and that was before we started, and one was taken after we cleaned it off. And there was another house in Washington, D.C. It had a 2001 Chrysler Sebring, William Robert's flatware, and a Hoosier cabinet, 2 glass door bookcases, and a large frame photo of Martin Luther King that was signed. The house was quickly finished in 1.5 days. An apartment in Gaithersburg, Maryland had a beautifully painted wooden chair that you will see in the photos, but not much else to mention. So, here come the photos. Remember to subscribe here and go to Facebook page 800 Houses, 800 Jobs to see more photos from these jobs.